Alright, what's going on everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Ravens flock, it's week 3. We are traveling to New England to take on an old foe in the Patriots. This is going to be an interesting game. I don't exactly know what to expect here because I'm not exactly sure how I want to assess the Patriots through 2 games. When you look at how they played week 1, offensively, they couldn't get anything done. They were dominated by that Dolphins defense, and nothing worked there. Defensively, however, they did relatively well in terms of trying to handle Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They did as best as they could, and they actually were able to get somewhat results. If they had a better offensive performance, that would have been a much closer game. Then you look at week 2, and defensively, they did a great job as well in handling the Steelers receivers and putting the pressure on Mitchell Trubisky and forcing him to turn the ball over. So through 2 games, I think the defense has done relatively well to say that they can perform well and deal with, a lot of pressure and a lot of high-octane players, because we saw them do it in week 1 and week 2 with the receivers Pittsburgh has. They definitely have some talent there, so they can deal with talented players. Defensively, I think they've done a solid job. Offensively, it's been shaken. Week 2, they did get the win, but again, you didn't see an impressive performance from Mac Jones. I think both his games were relatively average, so I haven't seen any really great performance from Mac Jones. So I do not know what to expect from him in this game. I don't know if he's going to go off or if it's going to be another situation like the previous 2 games where he's going to have a relatively average game and it's going to come down to the defense to help them win. I'm not sure what to make of that Patriots offense. It's not exactly the best. They have playmakers. Well, you have one huge playmaker in Aguilar who's all of a sudden catching the football. So you got guys there, but I don't know what to make of that Patriots offense, and I feel like that's the part that's kind of holding them back because the defense has been doing a good job, and I expect the defense to do a good job in this game. In fact, that's the biggest matchup in this game: the Ravens offense versus the Patriots defense. If the Ravens offense is able to go off against the Patriots defense, this is a blowout, no question. But if that Patriots defense finds a way to contain Lamar and these receivers, then it's going to be a much closer game. It's going to be a tough game, and it's going to come down to the wire. And if that defense does a good enough job to contain our guys and give Mac Jones and that offense an opportunity to put points up, then the Patriots could potentially take this one. So the biggest matchup is Ravens offense versus the Patriots defense. It's going to come down to that. On the flip side, the Ravens defense versus the Patriots offense. Ravens defense is definitely looking to bounce back after that huge embarrassing collapse against the Dolphins in the 4th quarter. Up until that point, they were playing relatively well. They had 2 turnovers on Tua, and they weren't giving up huge plays. But that 4th quarter was a collapse, so they're looking to bounce back from that. And taking on someone like Mac Jones should be an interesting perspective here. Now again, I'm not sure what to think about our defense either. In fact, if you look at it, there was an interesting stat that I found. In the last 19 games, the Ravens have given up 5 400 plus yards. That's the correct thing. 5 400 plus passing yard performances by quarterbacks. They've given that up. They've given that up in the last 19 games. So a lot of quarterbacks are putting up their career highs against our Ravens defense. Now, of course, there are several factors that play into that. Injuries, miscommunication, so forth and so forth. So we know there's reasons for that, but our defense has been giving up an extremely high amount of yards. They're giving up so much passing yards. They're giving up a lot of yards. They're not getting to the quarterback, and they're struggling with tackling. These are issues that we've been seeing for quite some time now, and it's something that needs to be fixed. The execution's it's not showing up at times. The execution's not showing up at some times. The miscommunication has been poor. I don't know what to say, but the Ravens got to get it together. And, after last week's 4th quarter collapse, they have to really zone in and fix these issues. It's not going to be fixed overnight, but you can improve on them. And I'm hopeful that the Ravens defense will improve on them this week against the Patriots. So yeah, when it comes to who has the advantage, I think Baltimore still has the advantage. Offensively, I'm going to give the nod to the Ravens, obviously. Defensively, Based on the 2 weeks, I feel like the Patriots right now, just because the Patriots are healthier defensively and we're not seeing those collapses more frequently compared to the Ravens that are still trying to get their defense together, I'll give the edge to the Patriots defense in this matchup until the Ravens defense can get themselves together, get collected, get everyone back, get the miscommunication issues fixed, and we can move on from there. But in this matchup specifically, I'm going to give the edge defensively to the Patriots because that's going to be the matchup. Ravens offense versus the Patriots defense. And special teams, I'm giving the edge to the Ravens. So the Ravens do have the advantage in the game. That's why they are, 3-point favorites heading up to New England. So we'll see how that game goes. Now let's talk about the keys to the game. When it comes to the keys to the game, these are obviously the most crucial aspects of the game that we need to be able to, perform. We need to be able to get this done. We need to be able to perform with these keys in order to win. So my first key of the game is we have to be able to convert on third down. In the Dolphins game, we could not convert on third down, especially in those third and short situations. We kept trying to run the ball up the gut. We were running quarterback draws. It was not working. In this game, we have to be able to convert on third down. Because if we're poor on third down again, it could hurt us. So we have to be able to convert on third down. That's the number one thing. Number two thing is we're going to have to get something going downfield with the passing game. You want to somehow establish that early on, which I believe we can. We do have guys that can do that, and we've showcased that through the 2 weeks. We've showcased that our passing defense can definitely attack downfield. We can hit you from all angles. So they've shown that so far through 2 weeks. I hope they can get it going early on. You want to be able to attack downfield early on, attack the Patriots secondary early on, because if we can do that, then that can ease up the pressure that they're going to try to put on our running game. Right now, our running game isn't where it needs to be because J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards isn't there, so we need to let the passing game dictate our running game. The passing game can open up the running game. We need the passing game to dictate our offense so we can open up the running game. Next up, getting big plays downfield, attacking the Patriots secondary, that's what needs to be done. Number 2, we got to find some sort of running game. Once the passing game is able to open things up, we have to take advantage of the moments where they allow us to run the football. When we have opportunities to get some yards on the ground and extend plays, we have to be able to find some sort of running game. This is the 3rd week I'm bringing this up. The running game, we have to figure it out. And it has to be via our backs because we cannot continue to use Lamar Jackson. We know what Lamar can do. We already know what Lamar can do. But these backs, they got to do something. Last week, 14 carries for 28 yards, unacceptable from a Ravens run game. So let the passing game dictate the offense and then seize those opportunities to get some sort of running game going. Number 3, forcing turnovers. Mac Jones is pretty cautious with the ball, but there's times where he's going to make mistakes and try to take a risk downfield. We need to capitalize on that. We did that last week with the 2 interceptions on Tua. Marcus Williams was awesome. Could have had a 3rd, but he dropped it. So we want to be able to capitalize on any turnovers that Mac Jones gives us. We got to get that going. Number 4, and this is really important defensively, we need to stop the run. The Patriots have actually been running the ball relatively well over these first 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Baltimore hasn't really done a great job stopping the run. Last week against the Dolphins, we did not do a great job stopping the run. Now granted, the Dolphins weren't running the ball much, but when they had opportunities to run, they were capitalizing on it. And on that final drive, on that game-winning drive, they gave up a huge gain to put them at 1st and goal on a big run. We need to stop the run. The Patriots are going to look to run this football. We have to stop the run. So that's my 4th key of the game. And of course, the 5th key of the game, which is also just as important as the 4th one, we can't allow any big plays downfield. So any miscommunication issues that was there, that needs to get fixed. We cannot allow the big plays down the field. This last week, this whole situation last week with the passing game was frustrating to see in the 4th quarter. They allowed so many big plays downfield. They allowed Tyreek Hill to get behind them on multiple occasions. You can't allow that this week. Granted, we're not dealing with the talented receiving core that we dealt with last week, but still, if a miscommunication happens, anybody can get downfield and open space, it's over. So we need to make sure we stop any big plays from happening downfield. We got to stop that. So yeah, to recap here, I'm tired. To recap here, we have to let our passing game dictate the run game. So open up the passing game, especially downfield early on. Capitalize on any opportunities we can get in the run game. Generate turnovers. Stop the run. And stop any big plays from happening downfield. That's the 5 keys of the game. If we can do all these things, we should be able to win the game. Now with that being said, let's get into some predictions. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I think the Ravens are going to win this game by 10 plus points. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think they're going to win this by 10 plus points. 30-14. 20-14 or 30-14. I think that's what they're going to do. I think, again, Lamar is going to continue to pick up right where he left off last week. Right now, he's playing well. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's also playing like an MVP. MVP Lamar's back, guys. He's playing like it right now, and that receiving core has definitely been responding well, so hopefully they can keep it up and be consistent. I see a couple touchdown passes for Lamar. I'm hopeful that a rushing touchdown can happen. I do not know if J.K. Dobbins is going to play, so I'm not going to make an estimate there. If he does play, it's going to dramatically improve our running game. If he doesn't, those guys are going to have to figure it out. We'll see what happens there either way, but a couple touchdown passes for Lamar Jackson, maybe a rushing touchdown from somebody. Defensively, I think we can get multiple turnovers like we did. You know, in week 1 we have multiple turnovers, week 2 we have multiple turnovers. I think we're going to keep up the trend and get multiple turnovers here against Mac Jones and his Patriots offense. And overall, yeah, we're going to win the game 30-14 or 28-14. Hopefully, we can get this done. If we get a huge lead, hopefully we maintain it this time, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Cannot wait for the game on Sunday, and I appreciate you guys. That's all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.